and I'm here with Dr. David Ferguson, and we're going to do a presentation about creating a caregiver legacy. I want to thank you for your patience and waiting while we got this figured out, but as always, teamwork works and we're ready to roll. So thank you for being here. Like I said, we're going to talk about creating a caregiver legacy. This is Caregiver Appreciation Month, and normally we would be doing a luncheon, and this is in lieu of that to honor the incredible work that you do, as well as who you are in doing it. And Dave, if you want to introduce yourself, and then I'll go a little further.
Sure. Thanks, Margie. Again, I'm Dr. Dave Ferguson. I work with Margie. Margie, we're a team, and we help families kind of navigate their way through healthcare issues or financial issues. Really, our focus is on helping older individuals really maximize their health and wellness, and now more recently their sense of connectedness. And I got interested in this topic. This is really an outgrowth of an interest I have in writing as a tool for healing and for wellness and health. It kind of grows on my interest in journaling, but also, the deeper I've gotten into it and looking at the research, writing is a really incredible, powerful tool that we often don't talk about. It's a way to really tackle some of those difficult challenges that you face, and the research shows over and over again that people who do this really benefit, especially if you've gone through what might be a really tough challenge or some type of trauma, and that can come up as a caregiver, of course, right? So hospitalizations, illnesses, death, and there's so many things around caregiving that can leave us with emotions and thoughts that we need to reconcile and work through. And writing is a great tool to do that. And I've been fortunate enough to meet Margie just by chance. I looked on her bulletin board and saw her an announcement for her doula work, and I just thought, that's so interesting. I've never heard of that. I've got to meet her. And then the next thing you know, we're working together as a team. And so she brings great skill and guidance as a nurse to help me. So that's my little introduction, Margie. You're next, I guess.
Well, thank you, Dr. Dave. I appreciate that. Yes, as Dr. Dave said, I am a nurse advocate with I-Corps, and we do life management, which means that I do a lot of medical advocacy for people, help guide them through the complex situations that you as caregivers know all about. But I also am a life doula, and in that work, it is all about life resolution, about affirming people, about helping them face their deep emotions and just enjoy the life that they are leading. And I also teach reflective writing workshops. That is a passion of mine. And so this is a combination of all three things. This is really honoring what caregivers offer and what clients offer back. And it just really is very dear to our hearts. At I-Corps, we do a lot of presentations. We really have a heartfelt passion and commitment to much further than just medical advocacy and life care management, but to really further wellness and stress management, because that's the key. And if we touch people holistically, which to me means not just the physical, not just our mental, where we put our minds and our goals, but to really connect that with our deepest emotions and our spiritual selves, whether we are out in the world working or we're the person in bed or a wheelchair somewhere that's being cared for. That is a vital step that we all need to make sure is happening every single day. And certainly for people that are facing the end of their lives or chronic illness, it's vital to their well-being. And so I-Corps has developed a whole platform of presentations, and they're really, Dr. Dave has heart math coaching, and we can talk about that later, and I do a lot of writing classes. So today, we're going to talk about creating a caregiver legacy. We have offered legacy letter workshops in the past where we would be, as a individual or a family member or a community member, be honoring some event or object that we have or some special memory, and passing it to the next generation. But today we're going to try to help you to realize all the many, many moments that you spend caring for people. Whether you're caring for a family member or one individual, or if you are out in the community delivering service at a facility or a home care agency to multiple people, you spend minutes and hours every week with the people that you care for. And what I wanted to do is have everybody just really think about that. What goes on between you and your client? What happens? You're talking, you're sharing, you're touching, you're part of their home life, whether it's in a facility or at home. And they're inviting you into their lives and allowing themselves to be vulnerable. But you are offering the gift of acceptance and love and absolute support for that person in the moments that you're together. So before we go on, Dave, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Thanks, Maria. I do, and I think I want to get back to why do this. Why are we putting energy and why are you attending this today? And I think it's the message is again, when you take that little moment out of the whirlwind of caring, which can consume you, leave you emotionally and physically exhausted by the end of the day. When you take yourself out of that whirlwind just for a brief moment to do something like this, to explore the restorative emotions of love, compassion, care, even for little moments. This isn't, when you take that time, and be intentional about that. That is the only way, I think, to not only survive a caregiving experience that may be consuming, but also to potentially flourish in it and come out of it a stronger person. And this is the way to do that. This is the way to experience those restorative emotions through an active exercise like this and be intentional about that. Otherwise, unfortunately, as you probably have all heard, that the toll on caregivers is substantial. I mean, missed doctor's appointments, no exercise, lack of eating well. It's tough being a caregiver, and so you have to be intentional about healing yourself and protecting yourself, so that you don't go down before the person that you're caring for, which is a real which happens all too often, unfortunately. So again, one of the messages today is to be intentional about caring for yourself, and this is one of the ways. I think it's one of the best ways you can do that, is to tap into the things that you can appreciate about the situation that you're in, no matter how difficult it is.
So I don't know if Tony and Melissa, if you brought anything to write on, or a piece of paper and a pen is handy, but we're going to do a little bit of writing. Oh, good. You're all set. Wonderful. I thought we'd start with each of you. Well, first of all, can you undo your mics? I'm going to mute myself for a minute, and because I'd like to learn a little bit more about what you're doing for your caregiving work.
Okay.
I am Melissa Wolf. I care for someone with a physical disability, and through a long-term care agency, and I just have one client right now.
So you go to that person's home?
Yes.
And do you just provide a little bit of care and move on, or do you spend hours and days, shifts?
Hours and shifts.
Okay. Have you been with that client a long time?
About 3.5 years.
Oh, that's wonderful. Really. So you kind of become part of the family and really counted on. That's really very special. Tony, how about you?
I am a big part of my mom's life, do a lot of help caring for her here, and actually probably started this a dozen years ago when my dad was still around, and helping my mom with caregiving for him, and now caring for her in her 90s in her own home.
I'm especially happy to hear that you're part of this, because in the past, when I was part of the caregiver support groups, so many people didn't identify themselves as caregivers if they were helping family members. They just sort of saw it as something that they do, and that is
daughter and do-gooder, right?
Yeah, that's all great, but it burns out really quickly when you're not really taking care of the facts. So very glad to see you're here. So great.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with it. You can picture one moment in your mind between you and your mom, or you and the gentleman you take care of, Melissa. Out of all the hundreds of moments that you've spent together, just pick one that comes to your mind. Usually, if it comes to your mind, there's an emotional attachment to it. And before we start writing, just really go there and let that moment come. And let's close our eyes. And maybe Dave could lead us in some deep breathing where you can really start to re-experience just that moment. And it's hard to train our minds because they want to go here, there, and somewhere else. But as much as you can bring yourself back to this moment and really picture it, and then allow yourself to come into it and to see if you can feel it, smell it, hear it, to really get into your emotional self and to remember that moment. And then we're going to do some writing. So, Dave?
Sure. And I won't go into a lot of detail, but there's some amazing things happen the way we're hardwired, the way our bodies work was when you're, whether you're trying to be creative and you want to write something or you wanted to try to tap into those restorative emotions I talk about, compassion, care, love, joy, courage, which is something we don't talk a lot about, the courage that it takes for both the caregiver and the person you're taking care of to get through situations. But when we're caught up in the whirlwind, we tend to breathe fast. You know, when we're anxious or we're frustrated or we're angry, we tend to breathe shallow and we tend to breathe fast. And that sends information to our brain, which makes it very difficult for us to tap into those, the things that we need to be compassionate, kind. And so, this is just tip of the iceberg, but I just want to walk you through a tool that you can use to help. And it's amazing what happens. So just close your eyes. I'm going to kind of walk you through this. You can keep your eyes open too if you want, but sometimes it's easier to close your eyes. I want you to take a deep breath in. Nice deep breath in. Slow your breathing down on purpose. So you can imagine one Mississippi. I used to use that when I was a little kid playing tag football, right? One Mississippi, two Mississippi, three. So count to 5. Nice deep breath in for 5. Exhale for 5. Just continue that nice pattern. Music is a fantastic way sometimes if you get a little moment to play something that you really enjoy to again evoke this wonderful sense of or feeling. Get into a nice cycle of nice deep slow breaths. I want you to think of someone that you're appreciative of. It certainly could be the person that you're caregiving for now. It could be somebody that's passed, somebody who's here with you, a different generation, a grandchild, sibling, anyone that you're really appreciative of and feel really connected to. I want you to think about them, and then I want you to feel that appreciation, that sense of a gratitude and appreciation. Sometimes it can be hard to find those things, right? But it could be an event, a marriage, a graduation, the birth of a child, a grandchild. Take yourself back to that experience and see what that feels like. Sights, sounds, recreate that in your mind. I often use a walk in the woods. I can remember what that feels like. I re-experience that in my mind. Being in nature is a great thing for me personally. And that's it. It's extremely simple, not easy to do. I said simple, not easy, but and I just think, how did it feel? How did you feel before you started that? And then how do you feel after some deep breathing like that? That's the sense that you can get. And so that will put you maybe in a better place to start your connection and start writing.
So let's take a moment and keep breathing. Please slowly, maybe not as deeply, but to make sure you keep your mind in gratitude and kindness, in slow breathing. And now bring a moment to your mind, that private moment between you and your mom or you and the person you care for, Melissa. And just allow it to come into your being and to settle into your body. And then just go there. Remember it. Look around. What do you see? You're looking at the person probably, but what's off to your right? And what's off to your left? Are you giving a bath? Is there the smell of soap and water? Are you outdoors? What smells and sensory things are coming to you? Are you putting lotion on that person's body? Are you combing their hair? What does that feel like? Is it all easy to brush through? Is it wispy or is it real tangled? Really, really go there in this moment. And then remember what you were feeling. Were you enjoying this moment? Was there something spoken between you that was special? Or was it one of those ordinary moments that just happened with idle chatter, but somehow it touched your heart and brought back to your mind today? Whatever it was fine. And sometimes we uncover things that were challenges. Maybe we were feeling impatient or frustrated. Maybe things weren't going well. Maybe you were heartbroken over the person's health deterioration or something else in your own life. But go there emotionally and remember how you were feeling in that moment. And then when you feel ready, write these things down on your paper. This is a letter to yourself at this point. No one else is going to see it or read it. It doesn't have to be well written. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It has to be real and honest. And so write about that moment and describe it to your own self so that you can capture it on paper. And we'll take maybe about 5 or 10 minutes. When you're done, just look up and we'll talk about it. Why don't we just take another minute or two, and then I'd like to hear from Melissa and Tony. You don't have to tell me your whole story, but just a little bit about what you were experiencing and if it brought back something special. Okay, Tony and Melissa, if you wouldn't mind just letting me know if that was helpful or, if it brought back things to you, just a little synopsis.
It helped me realize memories because I'm so close to her. And of things in her past that have been brought up that I can help help her cope, but help me cope as a caregiver as well.
Good.
Just one thing I mentioned was putting lotion or medicine on her back because she has spina bifida.
Oh,
So she just helping her feel better and kind of going more deep into that scenario.
yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you were caring for a young man. My apologies, but
No,
okay.
that's okay.
Yeah. Tony?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I was recollecting memories of making cookies with my mom. And recently I was going to make some, which I don't do all that often, but she's always asking me how she can help when we're preparing a meal or something like that. And so it was just a nice opportunity for her to help me chop nuts and whisk the dry ingredients and beat the eggs and just really get involved with it, because I used to do that with her as a kid. Just she was famous for her chocolate chip cookies, and we just had fun doing it. So the oven's on and it's warm and there's all the smells and sounds of the kitchen. It was yeah, nice to
I think
remember that.
Yeah. And it's, with both of you, it's those very simple things in life that are so incredibly special, and the things that live on in all of us, and how those scents of chocolate chips or lotion can just take us right back. And with my own grandma, she always used Dove soap. Every time I smell Dove, I'm right back there. And it's really special. Those are very precious moments. So. Okay, Dave, do you have anything to add, or should we go on to the elements of the creating a legacy?
Again, just to reinforce the message, Margie, you taking that little time that you did that, a couple of minutes, you doing that. Again, I'm coming from this, Margie and I often talk about the art and science. I'm the, a little bit from the science and the engineer in me and the physician, but you're doing an amazing thing for yourself when you do that. You really drop your stress levels and all the hormones associated with that. And it has just so you know, it has real health benefits when you take that little moment that you just did right then and there. It may not seem much, but when you do that periodically, before you get out of bed or before you do, before you go to bed at night, periodically during the day, when you take that little action, it has amazing really benefits. I guess I'm just going to kind of reinforce that message because I won't go too much, but I started writing about a trip that I took with my mom. She was a photographer, and just recounting what it was like that day, where we were, and now I can even go back and reread that at some other time.
Yeah, that's really special. Well, we're going to do a little more writing, so let's go to the next slide, because now that you captured that moment, there are ways to really create a legacy. And this can be a legacy that you might want to share with your mother and the person that you care for, Melissa, or you might want to just keep it for yourself, because this is all about honoring you and the gift of your work and the incredible life-giving work that you do. So there are some elements in creating a more polished thing. We just captured the memory that you're going to share now. And then now, if you wanted to really go further, we could write the why. And maybe Dave, you want to explain this part, because this was from your creation.
Sure. So, you might be, this is an opportunity. So, again, if you wanted to share this with somebody, you might, this could be writing to them on a special birthday, an anniversary, some event might be coming up and you want to share the story of how important it was to be able to bake together or to travel together or, do the things that that really, again, that you appreciate and that you're grateful for. But the key here, no matter what it is, and I guess especially again, you want to, if you don't want to share this, or you're writing to someone who's passed that you can't share it with, but you want to think about how do you want that person to feel when they receive your letter, or how do you want to feel when you go back and read it later, or when you're writing the letter. So the thing is really here is to remember to think about how you want the person to feel when they open and read that letter, and if they're not around, to imagine what they would feel like to get that letter from you, or to yourself. How do you want you to feel when you're writing a letter to yourself?
Yeah. For example, the why with Melissa, it could be to dear whatever the person's name is. I'm writing this today because I just really remembered the beauty of helping you relax and touching you with go on just to describe why you're doing it, because there is a reason that you're writing this. Or Tony, the precious moments that you and I shared, Mom. And I just want to capture one of those to share how I feel about it and why it's important to me. And then go on with the story. And we just did a lot of that. And you made it real again and make it come to life. So you've got that part, but you can broaden it with a little bit more information for the person. And then the story ends with a reflection. It's really, why did you pick this? There's some reason that this triggered in your mind, those particular moments, and it opened your heart. And you want to share that with the people that you're sending it to. And then always to send a blessing of love to your client and honoring the bond between you, because they give you a gift of their vulnerability and you give them the gift of your caregiving. And it is a truly sacred bond. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So I don't know if you have any questions about this part, but if we want to go a little bit further, we could take maybe about 10 minutes on this and to get started, and then we can gather again.
Just one more comment, Margie. Sometimes I've told Margie too, as when you're trying to think about, you wanted to write a letter to someone or to yourself. Again, this is about, honoring you as a caregiver. So it certainly could be to yourself, but sometimes you're looking at that blank page and you're just saying, okay, what do I want to tell this person, and or what do I want to share with somebody? And this is just one of the ways that Margie and we're just offering this as a guide to setting that structure, so that you don't have to worry so much about how I put this together. We kind of give you the little building blocks here of how you might create and structure a letter, so that you get your thoughts on paper and don't let them just stay in your head, because that's where legacies are lost, when we don't share these ideas with the people that are important to us.
Okay, well, I'll give you about 10 minutes and then, did it turn off? No. There. It looks like everybody's pretty well done. So if you're ready, I'd love to hear from everybody how that went and your thoughts about it.
Yes, I thought it was very good. I feel like I can continue something like this.
Yeah, it's really fun, and it can have a wonderful gift for someone, but also the biggest gift is to yourself, like Dr. Dave was saying. It really is. It's so healthy to reconnect those memories within ourselves, and to re-experience in them. How about you, Tony?
Okay, ask me the questions you'd like me to answer.
Just comments, thoughts, or nothing, or pass?
I've written for a long time, like since I was in high school, through college, through my career, and I think one of the nice takeaways that I have today is that I usually just write journals and journals, and I just fill up books, but I never really think about sharing my caregiving experiences or thoughts with my mom, in a written form necessarily, or with other members of my family even,
Right.
And as a person who's never had any kids, but I have nieces and nephews, they know that my husband and I help my mom, but I don't think they might find it interesting to go a little bit more in depth with some of those things, that I experienced with her, either whether it's events or moods or thoughts, because who knows whenever anyone is in this kind of a life situation.
Yeah, that's right. Beautiful.
That's yeah. I just want to. That kind of gives me goosebumps, Tony, because that is the key, right? I mean, that is you're gifting on. That's part of that's part of your legacy to your family members that they can tap into when they find a difficult caregiving challenge, which may come sooner than they ever realize, right? It may not be when they're older. It might be caring for, a partner or spouse much sooner than they ever imagined that they would be in that role. And now they have a role model. They have someone to, that they that they can tap into to find not only to get them through difficult times that you've experienced and how you did that, and those are the gifts that we and those are the magic things that really allows us to stay connected with each other across generations. And I think that's one of the best gifts that you could ever think about giving someone.
Okay, thank you.
I know. I think that for me, I've always said I'm so grateful I decided to become a nurse rather than other healthcare professions, because the gift of touch is inherent in being a nurse. And what you share with people through your touch is everything. It's emotional, it's spiritual, and it's the intimacy of the person that you're touching as well. And it really forms a very, very sacred bond. And the reason that I wanted to pick this is because it really does honor the moments, just like you both mentioned, the moments that you share with the people that you care for. Nobody knows. People call you angels and, oh, aren't you wonderful? And to me, that's code for you're doing work that I don't feel I could do. But they're not really honoring the work because they don't know what you do. And it doesn't need to be a negative, but to share and to value yourselves as a person and the heart that you come to your job with and the care and the love that you share with the people. That is a very, very special gift, and one that, well, there's no price that could possibly be attached. And so that's why we wanted to create this for you. And I hope you will take it a little further to do some more writing about it. And you can, with probably 3 million more moments that you could write about if you wanted to, or whatever, but because you really are special. And you really are angels, but not in that way that people kind of tritely say. There are very few people in our world that have the capacity and the structure, the personality that could do the work that you're doing. And you really need to be special. So our blessings are to you as caregivers, that you really do offer yourself to those you serve, but you need renewal and self-care. And that's what this exercise can provide, because caregiving begins with caring for yourself. But I want you to know how much I value you, and I think everyone does, and that we're very grateful for your service and devotion. We have some other presentations that we offer that are on our website. And Dave, I don't know if you want to talk about them a little bit. If anyone's ever interested, you could reach out to us and find out more about some of the things. We are going to have a legacy circle that's going to start in the new year, where people would bring things like this.
So let you know, the screen, you're bigger, but the presentation is small.
Okay. Let's see, did I do when I stopped my video, did I do something?
Melissa, I wonder if you changed something on your end, because I see I see the presentation.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. And when I try to make it bigger, it's not doing anything. There we go.
Is it working out?
Except Jenny, I can't see you guys on the top.
Okay.
I'm working on the iPad. I see
Well, the PowerPoint is the important part.
yeah, but it's cut off.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give you our office number. Can you see that?
No,
Yes.
I can't. I can't see any of
You
it.
can't see that? It's 855-545-6794. If you ever wanted to reach out for any reason.
Okay, I would just like the website, really, but the website for some reason is cut off. I don't know what I did.
Okay. Well, it's ICOR Midwest, IKORMIDWEST.com.
Okay.
And that has our phone numbers and emails. We'd love to hear from you because, first of all, if you have any questions or comments that you want to continue with, or you might know people out in the community that might need our services as life care managers. But Dave, if you want to talk about some of the programs that we offer.
Yeah, Margie and I started this Legacy Letter workshops earlier this year, and it was really nicely received. We've done them in person and online, and we'd love to get back to doing them in person in 2021, hopefully. But we're going to start a Legacy Circle, which is going to be every 4 times a year starting next year, where it's just more practice. You get better and better at this, and it's an opportunity to just share some of your stories with other people, and people really have enjoyed doing that in the little time that they write with us in these workshops. And then you can and then it's an opportunity. And like you said, Tony, many people, their children that may have passed or they may not have had children, but sharing your legacy has again important health benefits, and that's kind of why we're going to do this. Our Legacy Circle is going to start up, and then we had some stress management workshops that we're running online that we'll be having next year as well. It's a deeper dive into the techniques that I just started to show you at the very beginning, but it's a deeper explanation of what that's all about and how that can help you. And then a number of things we'll be talking about, again, the art and science of gratitude, exercise as medicine. We just have a number of various, online offerings that we're going to be doing in 2021. So we'll be posting those on our blog.
The people that you serve, sometimes there's family dissension amongst, family members or different things. Those are some of the areas that we really are experts at helping. My life doula work, I can come and just be a sounding board for people and kind of help guide them. Because as things get dicey within caregiving, sometimes, well, very often family members have very divergent opinions and need some guidance. So there's lots that we do, and we would love to hear from you, and completely enjoyed today. And thank you very much for being here. And thank you, Jenny, for the opportunity.
Well, thank you. And I will send out the phone number and the website to you guys too, so you have it.
Yeah.
If
Thank
you could
you.
if you could offer Jenny any feedback, we would just love to things that we could do. We're constantly trying to make this a better experience. So if you have anything that we could do better, or that you would like to see a further or deeper explanation of, that would be great too.
And most importantly, hooray for who you are and the work you do. Keep it up and take good care of yourselves. So, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okey doke. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.